everyone. I am Ronit on the East Coast.
And I'm Whiskate on the West Coast. And we are
And
Hopelessly
we are Hopelessly Unedited.
And we'll never get this
Close.
We'll never, ever get this right. And I think that's part of the game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all right.
But today we're doing something serious, like super serious. We're going to talk about the strange and fascinating things that we do as kids, and then wonder whether we still do them or not. So I'm gonna, one of the things that made me think about this is I'm old now, and I can't really. I'm fucking old. I'm old enough. Let's just say. I can't bend the way I used to bend. So when I was a kid, I used to bite my toenails. I used to grab my feet and bite my toenails. I know it's kind of gross, right? But I used to do that.
Sorry,
now I can't gross. Even I can't even touch my feet now. It's just, that's how kind of old I am. Did you used to do that? You did.
And you can touch your feet.
It's a lot of work.
Now you're sitting here, you can touch it.
No, I'm sitting.
Like sitting?
Yeah. You're funny. Did you used to do that? Did you used to do that or anything?
No. The gross thing I've done, you mean? Right? When I was a kid?
Like when you were a kid. Yeah.
Okay. So I used to pick my nose. And not only picking my nose, everybody picks their nose. Come on, let's be honest, right? I used to pick my nose, but I will put the snot on the wall.
Yeah, it's like the gum wall in Seattle. There's the snot wall.
Exactly. Yep, I had a snot wall. But this gets a little bit better, is that for some reason, in Hong Kong, it's not drywall. When I was growing up, maybe now they use drywall, but when I was growing up in Hong Kong, it's kind of the concrete building is plaster, I guess, wall.
Okay.
So they're hard. And my mom would paint them, and there's an area, a wall that I would put my snot on there. And so it's kind of scientific. I don't know the reason, but after you put the booger on the wall, over time it kind of changes color. And it's almost like specks on the wall, and you can't really tell. So my mom would paint every year. She would just kind of wash it with a towel or something, and then she'll paint. So over the years, my booger is painted over and over again by my mom. So I don't know if that the apartment building still exists. If it does, then whoever lived there have been living with my boogers. So
that's completely gross. Completely and utterly gross.
Well, I
don't know. I think it rivals what I did with, biting my toenails. It's just the same. So kids, they do shit like that all the time. They do things. And then over time, we stop doing those things for some reason, like whatever is causing us to stop doing those things. I don't know if it's good or bad, but, I kind of wanted to talk about these things today with you, and then perhaps we can hear from our listeners what they what they've done. So I'm going to ask you some questions. So you were just talking about the boogers changing color, and that was like science for you. So is there anything super gross that you did, like you looked at, you did, or something like that you did because you thought you were a scientist, or it would advance science?
Well, can I, biology, do you consider that science? Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Hello?
It's like Mean Girls. Is butter a carb? Anyway, so it's not really me, it's my brother. So I'm going to talk about him because I'm betting on that he's not listening to this. So
you're gonna out your brother.
I am totally
for misbehaving.
So My brother is 6 years older than me. So when he was maybe 12, 13-year-old, I was barely in school. And of course, he was going through puberty. And one day, he had his finger out and asked me to smell it. And I said, okay. And I was like, what is this smell? It's not his butt. I know what butt smell like. It's his BO. He basically put his finger in the armpit, he smelled it, and then he had me smell it. And then what he said was, this smells so funny, right? And I thought, yeah. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And he couldn't figure out what it was. And then we never talked about it. And of course, biology. Later on, we know that when you go through puberty, you start to smell bad. So that was the scientific part of the gross stuff that I've experienced.
That's totally disgusting. When we're done with this, I'll send you a little clip of a baby monkey who scratches his butt and then smells it and falls off the branch like this. I'll send it to you.
Okay, you do send it to me.
So it's so funny. Like, there are some people, they'll just make you smell stuff. Like, so there's some people, and I know one person in particular, who, in order to see if she's going to wear something, and it's been, sitting there for a bit, she will grab it and smell it, and then decide from the smell test whether she's going to wear it or not. And I think that's really disgusting, personally. But there's some adults who do this because when they were kids, they were doing this. Their room was messy, and they just said, like, ooh, this is my pair of jeans. Can I wear those jeans,
Okay.
You don't know anybody like that. I love your face like that.
And
it's gross, right? Let's just say it. Anyway, what is the grossest thing you did as a kid that you would deny under oath today? Like,
I mean, the grossest thing, what my brother did was kind of gross, but I always think that when kids touch their butt and then smell their finger, I always thought that was really gross. So and how they talked about, food workers don't wash their hands, have hepatitis and all that, and I just thought it was gross. It's not just the smell, right? It's just gross.
So there's a saying, we say that in France. I don't know where it says, but in France we say it's Confucius, so could be Chinese. A saying that says, if you go to bed with an itchy butt, you wake up with stinky fingers. So there you go.
So true. Can you say it in French? Can you say it in French?
Tu vas au lit avec le cul qui gratte, tu travailles avec les doigts qui puent.
Okay, one of these days I'm going to learn how to say it. I'm going to keep this recording and repeat it myself.
Okay.
And then there will be the opening of our podcast.
Or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, so speaking of, like, boogers, did you ever do, like, snot rockets, where you grab, like, close one nostril?
Well, I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. Nothing comes out.
Nothing comes out.
Nothing comes out. But I hate it when people do it. Like, how I used to run and cycle? Usually, if I run behind men, I've had their bomb get on my sleeves and stuff. I wanted to kill them.
That's disgusting.
It's just disgusting.
So, but if you have a booger, are you more like a hand person, a sleeve person, or a tissue person, or a finger person? You could like.
It depends on what I'm doing and where I am.
So you can be all four of those.
Yeah, if I'm out in public, I have a tissue. I definitely will use a tissue. If not, I will be like, discreetly use the inside of my sleeve.
There's some people, and I don't know why they do that, but they'll blow into something, and then they'll open the tissue and they'll look at it, like very interested. I don't know. I would like our listeners to tell us, what are you looking for? Do you want to see if it changed color? Like,
or maybe they worry that they'll have a bloody nose or something.
Maybe.
Like to see if there's blood.
That's one okay reason to do something like that. But you know, like kids, they'll do something and then they'll inspect it. They'll look at it, you know, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." And they'll
I
touch
mean, we
it,
were
or
more
they'll.
curious. We were more curious when we were children, right?
You think we're curious about different things now? We're just curious.
Yeah, because I think maybe society, maybe learning more about there are things that is just not good to get so close to. It just takes away our
Yeah.
curiosity.
So kids are more curious, but they laugh more at stuff that we than we do. Like for instance, for me, I think farts are funny. When kids
I
think
still
that
think it
farts
is.
are funny, yeah, okay. So we are little kids. But there's a bunch of people
Yeah.
around us who don't laugh at farts.
I mean, it just all depends as well. I mean, if you're with someone that you don't want them to be embarrassed, that they accidentally let one out, and then I would try to keep my face straight. But
But
you
if
know
I
me,
hear it,
once
yeah.
I start laughing, the floodgates open, I couldn't stop, you know? And
If I hear it, I don't stop. If I hear it, I just laugh. I don't care,
and
like,
if
you
it's
know, I
like a
don't
big
care who
group
you
of
are.
people,
I still
you
laugh.
definitely laugh. No, you definitely laugh because there'll be multiple people trying to like contain, and you can just see it on their face. They're trying to contain themselves, and then everybody start laughing. But the
I
thing
bet
is,
all
you can
y'all
just.
fire goats did do that in class. You're all
The thing
farting
is,
and going like, ah.
when there's so many people there, I mean, I think people don't try to find out who farted at that point. Everybody just laughs. So if you're the person that farted, you can just keep quiet. It'll be fine.
But people sometimes they'll also blame it on the person next to them or the dog or grandma sitting over there. Um, I think that's kind of funny. You get in the elevator, somebody farts, and everybody's like pretending that it's not them, but it's definitely somebody in the elevator who farted.
Okay, look, elevator, I think that's how it goes. If somebody in the elevator farts, what's gonna happen is the person that fart would do this. Like they would immediately pretend they smell it so that everybody started smelling it and they would start looking and see who acted like they're not smelling it, and that must be the person. So if the person that farted are smart, should be the first one to have that reaction and also make them guilty.
When do you think we stop? Like because this
Farting?
is adult, right? Like if you put a bunch of kids in an elevator and somebody farts, they'll all be like, ah, gross, disgusting. But adults are like, not me. I would never do such a thing. You know, it's kind of wild.
Well, it just means that farting still means something to them. It changed from being funny and like burping, you know, being funny to being embarrassed. That is not
Burping.
socially acceptable, right?
Yeah, burping's pretty great. Like, I can't burp. It's just something I've not been able to do. Last time I burped, and the first time in forever was when I was giving birth to my son, and it just kind of came out, and I don't know how to burp. So, but I know how to fart. I'm really good at that. So,
Very
speaking
this.
of being really good, we've never, I don't think I've ever farted in front of you or not. I might have gone like,
Not I noticed anyway.
exactly, like we probably went like, ooh, somebody else, right? Blaming the neighbor. But when you were a kid, did you ever have like competitions for like who spits the farthest or who makes the loudest burp or fart or who's got the worst smelling shoe or, you know, like the kids' versions of the gross Olympic Games, you know?
No, but growing up in Hong Kong, burping wasn't a bad thing. Like people burp. I think they might not now, but when I was growing up, people just burp. And in fact, because I've seen people burp, I tried to burp. And when I was younger, I had a hard time burping. And then I finally learned how to do it. So in Hong Kong, it's pretty much, it's just burp. And some people, they would say, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "Excuse me." So when I first came to America, I burped and I said, "Excuse me," and people just kind of looked at me like that. And then I think maybe it's my roommate that told me, it's like, "Oh, it's not very polite that even though you say excuse me." So, because they noticed that, I've done it and acted like there's nothing wrong. So they were kind of helping me to understand. So
There are some cultures
now
where
my,
it's
my burp is like,
expected.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's a normal thing. It's just like
yeah,
fart. It's like
yeah.
that children's book, everybody poops. But why is it so funny? I don't understand.
But in like in North African cultures, you'll eat like your couscous or your meshui or something, and they expect you to burp so that it shows that you've had your fill, you've had enough food.
Well,
So
it's
even as
like,
a grown up, it's
ramen.
still kind of a
Like ramen in Japan, you eat ramen, you're supposed to make a little bit of noise, a slurping noise, because that means that, oh, it's tasty. If you're so quiet, that means that it's not good.
oh.
Just a little bit, not like, but just a little bit.
I'm like always shocked at how people are in their food in East Asia. Like they'll bring the bowl right here, and the face is almost in and they're like, and super fast, right? Everybody's like, and they have like the long ramens there. They go,
So one thing I don't know if I've ever told you, my
it's
family eats very
amazing.
fast.
Oh,
And as
the same
my
thing.
late mother gotten older, when I went to visit, we would be in the restaurant. And as she's gotten older, she couldn't eat as fast. And she would complain, it's like, "Oh my gosh, you guys eat so fast. I finished mine. I looked up, it's like half gone. I gotta be faster."
It's a cultural thing, right? Like people eat very fast in East Asia. They eat very fast and they put their bowl really close to their mouth. Whereas, like, I was raised to like stand tall and eat like this and bring the food to my mouth, not me to the food, you know.
Yeah,
So it's
right.
different culture. So you didn't have any like with your siblings, like who does the loudest fart or who's got the stinkiest shoes or anything like that? Your brother would have won.
No, well, I mean, because they're both so much older than me, so there isn't much competition of that sort. My brother would do gross things, right? Just because I'm the little sister, he would do gross things to me just to, being a big brother. So, I mean,
I
come
like
on,
that.
you're a
I
big
think
brother.
I
Did
like
gross things
siblings
to
do
you, I'm
that.
sure.
I,
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Torture
it's
each other.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Same thing. You do it with your kids, right? You just kind of mess with them all the time, and it's good. But did you? Speaking of gross things, okay, let's talk about food. Since we were kind of there, did you ever drop something on the ground and pick it up and look at it or not? The 5-second rule, and you
mhm,
eat it anyway?
sure. I still do it. Like the only time that I don't is if the ground or the floor is wet, and then I won't do it
What
because
about if
it's
it's
just
outside?
gross when it's wet.
Like outside?
Depends on what it is. If it's like a piece of hard candy, I dropped it like say on the pavement or something.
Uh-huh.
If I really want it, I pick it up and just like look at it and just kind of brush it, pop it in my mouth, call it good. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. So
Yeah, but it might kill you. You don't
I
you
don't
don't
think
know
so.
if you're putting something in your mouth if it's not
Oh,
going to
come
kill you.
on. Come on. You know what my pet peeve is? Women, or men, backpacks or purse, they will go to the bathroom and throw them on the floor, and then they will pick it back up. And I thought, sometimes those bathroom, the floor is wet, and do you know where those people's shoes has been to? And you throw that on the floor, you pick it back up and put it like against you, and sometimes you touch the bottom that's touched the floor. That's more gross because like you'll be like in the bathroom in
Yeah.
a stall for how long, like
Oh,
3 minutes, like all these germs will stew onto your back. Like if you
mhm.
just drop something on the floor, on the ground that is dry, just pop in your mouth, it's fine.
I see. Totally. I mean, I remember when my son was little, he would not be able to aim for the toilet. So there's always pee all over. It's kind of
Eee,
gross. And then he
right.
grew up and grew out of it, and I hope he's still grown out of it now. But it's kind of gross. So, did you ever eat snow? Speaking of pee,
Yes.
not
White
yellow
ones.
snow.
If
Yeah,
there's any kind of color, I wouldn't touch it. Because, I have dogs. I know what they
you
do
have dogs,
out
yeah.
there.
But you didn't have any
Yeah.
snow in Hong Kong, did you? That's something that's fairly recent for
No,
you.
no. Yeah, like after I moved here, then when there's snow, and I would, of course, try to eat it.
Well, now you live in a place where you get a lot of snow. So, do you go out and do like snow angels?
In fact, I just did a couple this year, and of course, my husband thought I was a little crazy. And then I also trying to test my dog to see how much he liked me. We had a storm that we got 14 inches of snow a couple months ago. And when it stopped, we went out walking the dog, and I actually fell on the ground dramatically and go, "Oh, Yuki, help me!" And he did run to me. He was concerned. It was so sweet. So it was just a test.
That's so nice. He's so cute. So you
Silly.
you so you pick stuff off the ground and you eat it. And did you ever try something because a friend of yours dared you? Like kids, they go like, "Oh, I dare you to eat this."
Uh, I cannot remember, but I'm very adventurous. I think there was one episode we talked about food, but when we went to Korea, last time to visit my daughter there was some live octopus. I think it's all octopus, yeah, and it's still moving. The tentacles, the small ones. My husband was worried, and he didn't try it, and I put it in my mouth. I ate it. I mean, not very many things gross me out. I just don't want to eat bugs. It's just because,
I've,
okay, the reason is because of the legs. I feel like if the legs got caught between my teeth, that would be really gross. That's why I didn't want to. That's why I don't
what
want to
if
eat
you
it.
just swallow them? No chewing.
Well, it's the legs. I think even though they're dead, I feel like they're gonna crawl up my throat or something.
Oh, I see. So I've seen you eat something really disgusting once. And
What
I
was
and I
that?
think after that you've been very kind to me when we were eating to not show me that you're eating something gross. But we went to a restaurant before. We've eaten together so many times, it's not even funny. There was fish, and you said, "Oh, I want the fish eyes." And you just called them out. Like the fish just came out, and you were like, "I want the eyes." And and everybody was like, "You can have the eyes. Yeah, sure, no
Yeah, it
problem."
depends.
And
I
here you
mean, I
are
didn't want any
reaching.
competition. I want the eye.
I know. It's like calling shotgun in a car, right? But here you are with your chopsticks, and you were just grabbing the eyes and like popping that in your mouth. And I thought she's doing this for fun, like she's joking. There's no possible way she's liking this. And you went digging the fish on the other side and got out the other eye.
Definitely.
Even that face.
Yeah. You gotta be quick, I don't want you guys all trying to take my fish eyes.
My dad is not like that. Like he's kind of weird with food. He will, like, for instance, he will eat his food separate. Things have to be separate on the plate, kind of.
Okay.
And then he will eat them in sequence. So, like, if you give him a plate with like a steak, fries, and broccoli on it, he will eat the broccoli on its own, all of it. Then he'll eat all the fries, and then he'll eat all the steak or some whatever order that's in. But he won't eat them together. It's just weird.
Kind of like that. I would always save what I really want to eat last.
Yeah.
So.
I might save the best bite for last. That's what I might do. But
Hmm.
I don't mind putting a piece of broccoli, a fry, and a piece of steak in my mouth at the same time. if I can.
I mean, it kind of reminded me of this cartoon that I watched. It's Japanese made about Pinocchio going through to different kingdom, and it's Japanese, so I don't know if they followed everything in the book, but they were Pinocchio was traveling through the kingdom of the lazy people or something. So there's like all these foods. So people was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna eat a lot because then we only need to eat once a week. Then we can just sleep because we're lazy. So and then he went to the bakery. So people were just like eating flour and drinking water and putting powdered yeast in their mouths. Where's the bread? It's like, oh, they're all going to be mixed together anyway in the stomach. So we don't want to, you know, spend the effort of making the bread. We'll just like put them all in our mouths and that'll be good. So that's like the lazy kingdom. Because at first Pinocchio thought that was pretty cool because like all these food, then he can just like eat, nonstop until he went to the bakery. It's like, oh my gosh, there's no bread.
We do like our bread, French people, We're kind of like that. But, okay. Another question. How kids, when they're young, they're interested in all sorts of things, and they'll pick up stuff off the ground, not just food and put it in their mouth, but also pick up like, oh, look at this cool rock, or look at this leaf or this branch or whatever, and then they build this collection of things. Did you ever have like little treasures like that?
Just stamps. I collected stamps, and that's about it. And then I do have a little basket of toys that with this really scary looking ugly doll, that plastic doll that I had, and other things in there, and I would just haul it like, Charlie Brown, and I would just haul it everywhere with me. That was like before I started school, and I remember that very clearly.
Yeah. So I think every kid, or a lot of kids, they have this one toy, this one thing that's the most important object on earth. Like they've never had anything that they loved more. So they'll carry like, a little car, toy car, or a doll or something, or Linus and his blanket, like you were just
Hmm.
alluding to. It's so weird. I wonder when, at some point, that kid will grab that toy car and put it down and never put it in his pocket ever again. And I think that's kind of sad.
And I'm trying to think if there's anything right now that I would carry, you know, all the time and everywhere. I don't think I do that. Even a purse in the wintertime, if I have a coat that has a lot of pockets, I don't even carry a handbag or a purse with me anymore. Um, I think there's like a lot less of, oh, I gotta take this with me everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think it's kind of sad. I kind of like kids keeping that sort of adventure. I'm keeping this because I like it and not because I'm influenced by other people. It's just it's kind of sad that
Yeah.
we lose that. But I have another question for you, completely unrelated. And I know you do this now, but when we're a kid, there's two things that come to my mind that kids do all the time. They run everywhere and they scream all the time. Were you one of those kids? I mean,
Yeah.
you can walk and you can talk, but no, for a kid, you run and you scream.
I definitely am one of those, and I still do it, as you know. I still do it.
That's why I asked.
I, if back then in Hong Kong they knew, I definitely was ADHD, ADD, or whatever attention issue that people can find. I had it all. That's why I still do a little bit right now. I realize I'm not completely rehabbed.
It's so funny, and I don't know why they stop, but like they'll just come out and say, "Mama, mama, mama, watch me, watch me, watch me," and you're like, "I've seen you up this thing. I know what you're gonna do. Watch me, watch me." So they just want you to watch, and instead of just walking to that thing and telling you you should watch me, they have to run to it and scream that you should watch them. Makes them super loud and kind of annoying, really. Kids are kind of annoying that way.
Well,
They're cute.
because they're small, they maybe if they feel like they need louder, bigger gesture to get attention, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then they'll grab like whatever they find on the playground or in the yard or whatever, and then they'll turn that into like a sword or a stick, and they'll be like, fight, you know. And we don't do this as adults. I think it would be kind of fun to put a bunch of Nerf sticks, because if we had sticks and we fought with those, it probably would degenerate. But
I
if we had
love
Nerf
steak.
sticks, then you can grab that and you can whack somebody with it. You're not gonna hurt them. I mean, you
Yeah.
might
I love that game,
smack
Whack-A-Mole.
them wrong, but whack-a-mole.
I'll whack anything. I love Whack-A-Mole.
Human whack-a-mole. Does Rob know you like
I'm
whack-a-mole?
for
He
it.
should get you that
If
toy.
there's no consequences for me to whack people.
I mean, you're like the kung fu lady, so I think we should tell your husband that you like whack-a-mole. He might get you one for one of your holidays or birthday. So when you have
Whack-A-mole?
these sticks, yeah, whack-a-mole. So when you have a stick, and this is my back scratch. When you were a kid, did you ever like use it as like singing microphone? Or like, talk to your toys like they were real people or
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all do that.
yeah.
I've never
We still
had
do that.
imaginary friend,
You have
but
disappeared.
I I definitely have talked to my toy.
Do you have like confidence secrets and things like that you wanted to share with your toys?
No, you know me, I'm not very secretive. I just yak about most everything.
It's true. You want me to tell you about this? You don't want me to tell you about this. I'll tell you about it anyway.
Yeah, totally.
So, I
That's
mean,
my superpower, man.
It's true. It's true. And when you have something that you talk to, you can just make like a bunch of backstories. Like I'm really good with my kid. I used to be very good at telling him stories that I'd make up in the moment, and I'd make the voices and do all this stuff for him, and it was pretty funny.
That's cool. Yeah. I used to make up these story about two sheep for my girls. One is named Meme and one is named Bebe. Every night I would make up a story. And the
About
story
Meme and
is
Bebe.
usually about their adventure, and it involved their fighting. Their usual objective is to collect strawberries so that they could bring them home to mama to make strawberry pies, but it would involve their fighting, and those fighting is usually what I observed, the stuff that they fought about. So I told them story every night, and then after I don't know how long, as they got older, they finally realized, oh wait, we did that today. Because the moral of the story usually is like, well, Meme and Bebe shouldn't fight like that. So, yeah, that's the story I made up for them.
That's amazing. That's really funny.
Yeah.
So, you're here. You are with your kids, and at night they like to sit with you and recap what happened during the day, and then they'll ask you some really offensive question or something like that. They'll ask something that happened. Why is this person? Why did this thing happen today? And at night you're able, in the privacy of your own home, you're able to discuss with them, and that's pretty good. But when you're in public, like kids will just blurt out and say stuff. Why is that lady is yelling, and why is that man bald or shiny, or why does this guy smell weird, like stuff like this. And have you done that, and when did you learn to not ask those questions out loud, or have you learned to? Because I'm not sure you have.
I remember when I was little, my mom took me to China to visit her friends, and we were at the zoo, and there was a monkey. Um, I think it's a chimpanzee, and everybody, you know how they are. Everybody was like gathering around the cage watching him, and he was like hanging like that. And all of a sudden, he started peeing, like face on toward the audience. And then I yelled out really loud in Chinese and said, "Oh, look at it. The monkey's peeing!" Really loud. And then everybody just started laughing. And I didn't understand why it was so funny. Right. And,
I
I've
still
done
don't. I
it
don't.
and yeah. And then my younger daughter, we took her to a train ride, in Woodinville, and you get to the brewery, and there was a guide in the brewery. He has this big beard, white beard. And so my little girl was sitting on top of my ex-husband's, piggyback ride so that she could see because she was tiny. And as the guy said, anybody has any question? All of a sudden, she raised her hands. And I looked at her, I was like, what is she going to ask? And then the guy said, okay, what is your question? And she said, are you Santa Claus? Because he has this big white beard. And everybody laughed. But that guy was so grumpy. He didn't find it funny. He was like, no.
It happens. There are grumpies everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
a grumpy normally.
Totally.
Totally. I'm a grumpy.
No,
Totally.
you're not that grumpy.
Well,
No, you can deal
I
with
think
me.
we're
You're
at
not
time.
that grumpy.
So most
Yeah.
of the time I'm
Yeah.
not that grumpy. But I think we're at time. So I think it's probably
Yeah.
good that we just kind of close on that. But I want to hear from, our listeners, their own either gross stories or kid stories, like any kind of anecdote that they would want to share
Mhm.
with us of weird things that they've done or said or have happened to them. It's cool.
Right.
Fun
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. So with that said, I'm Ronit on the East Coast.
And I'm Kate on the West Coast. Be seeing you.
And we are
Hopelessly
unedited.
Unedited.
So close. Well, bye,
So
everyone.
far. Bye.